All right, welcome back to another episode of Star Trek Adventures featuring the crew of the USS Akatsuki. One day I'll say that right.
That was close enough.
All right, so we're going to start this episode off. So just a little background. The crew last session engaged in combat with three mercenary vessels. At the end of the battle, they all basically initiated self-destruct codes on all the vessels, blowing themselves up. I believe some information was found from the character side, but you guys could role play that stuff. So speed of plot wise, the events of this episode are going to happen roughly a week after that battle scene. So you already rendezvoused with a Tiananmen. You dropped off your Ferengi passenger with them, and now you just arrived on station to begin your search of the 10 by 10 light year grid that of whatever potential thing the Ferengi was on in the sector of space that you pulled from his navigational computers. Well, you were able to salvage from it after the damage to his vessel corrupted the rest of the data. So if there is anywhere or any scenes anybody would like to run at prior to arriving on station, we could do that now. If not, we could jump straight to the bridge.
I could probably do a scene waking up from being unconscious in sickbay, just to play that out.
Works for me.
Okay, let me go ahead and get that set up because I actually had sickbay set up for something else, so give me 1 second. All right, I'll leave the floor to you guys.
So Rex is starting to come about and slowly opens his eyes, looks around, and takes in the room of sickbay around him, and looks up.
Pause. Oh, welcome back to consciousness, Mr. Rex.
Ah, Doctor.
You took a nasty bump on the head.
Apparently so. I seem to have missed the fun.
If you want to call it that.
How did we fare?
Fairly well. I think there were about 17 injuries total. No one dead.
Good. And the Nausicans?
Well, none of them came through my sick bay. You'd have to report to the bridge.
I'll do that. Am I cleared for duty?
Let me give you a quick once-over. And I'll run the medical probe over him. The concussion is treated, although you're in the tail end of the symptoms. If you feel any kind of nausea, dizziness, disorientation, come back to me immediately. But otherwise, I'd say you're fit to resume your station.
Understood. Thank you, Doctor.
Mhm.
I'll get back to my post.
Ensign Torwell will stretch and get up and walk over to the doctor.
Ensign.
Oh, doctor, my head is like really spinny. Is there anything that I can do about it?
Well, sit back down for one.
Was anybody hurt during the battle, doctor? Any bad injuries?
Uh, as I told Mr. Ricks over there were 17 injuries, yourself and him included in that figure.
That would probably explain the very bad headache.
Yes, it looks like you were caught in part of the same EPS overload that caught our tactical officer. Ensign,
Yes, doctor.
what's your nutrition level? Are you eating regularly?
Despite the fact that I've been blacked out or passed out for the last couple of days. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm showing a mild level of dehydration to you. That would probably account for your head being spinny.
Most likely, doctor.
I recommend a full liter of water into your system and at least an hour's rest before you try and go back on duty.
Yes, doctor. Sounds like a good plan.
And if it keeps up after that, come back and see me.
Yes, doctor. And how is Riggs?
Oh, in decent shape now. The burn is patched up, the concussion has run its course after some treatment. He'll be fine.
That's good. That's good. I shall head to my quarters and get that water and a good rest.
Good. You are free to go, Ensign.
Thank you, doctor.
Right. Any other scenes?
Oh, yeah. Kane, do you want to? Okay.
Let's do it.
Briefing room will work, I guess. If I was on the scene, that would help.
Ready? So yeah, I guess when the scene cuts, Kane will be partway through his arguments to Mahawk. So, Commander, look, no question, Gardner is talented. And when you take natural talent and you pair it with somebody with the management skills and just, well, the huge breadth of knowledge that I have and in our field, when you combine those, I've taught him so much, and I mean, I believe he's ready for this promotion. He is my star pupil, after all.
Mahawk's just standing there staring impassively, listening to you.
Ah, okay. Tough nut to crack. I like the stoicism. You see, Commander, engineering, as you know, it's a very difficult profession. And we expert engineers tend to notice natural talent when it becomes apparent to us. Gardner, well, despite the fact that he's sometimes not as social as he could be, given the fact that we have yet to schedule our rise of vacation together. For Petty Officer First Class, he's demonstrated extreme aptitude. He's demonstrated extreme command of anything that I've asked him to do, command of the subject area. He's a go-getter, top to bottom, and I would love to actively take him under my wing and mentor him. I think he easily has officer potential.
And you are recommending him for promotion to Petty Officer First Class. Is that correct?
Step by step, Commander. We'll start with Petty Officer First Class, and we'll see where he can go.
Indeed. I have reviewed Petty Officer Gardner's service record. He does seem to possess the talent that you attribute to him, and his service record would indicate that yes, such a promotion is warranted.
I knew that you would see my side, Commander.
Your side has little to do with it, but your attention to detail has prompted this. I will make the arrangements.
Thank you,
And with
Commander.
the captain's approval, I foresee no problems.
Thank you, Commander. Well, let's see where we can push Gardner. I see big things in his future. Kane will smile. Now, Commander, if I can be dismissed, I would like to run a few more diagnostics after the repairs that we've done.
Indeed. If you have anything else to report, please let me know. You are dismissed.
Of course, Commander. Kane will walk away and make his way down to engineering to give Gardner the good news.
Mahawk is just going to kind of shake his head lightly before the scene cuts to black and follows Kane.
Alrighty. We'll head down to engineering really quick so you could give Gardner the good. And don't forget, you guys have access to your own soundboard, so you can make your own door noises.
Ah, that's right.
Mine doesn't see. Oh, that one works. Oh, there it goes.
Remember
It's under the
the
note
music
thing down
section.
at the bottom.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, there we go. Kane walks into engineering. I have arrived. Thank you for the warm welcome back. Gardner, may I see you in my office? Kane will walk over into this little cubby hole.
Gardner seems puzzled and scared at the same time as he reacts to your summons, and eventually he goes over. Oops. I don't want to move the whole compartment. There you go.
As they all flee for the exits.
Yeah.
Gardner, we've been best friends for how long has it been now?
Best friends, sir?
Yeah. For how long?
I haven't kept count, sir.
I know. Seems like literally forever. Well, I have some very, very good news.
And God is just thinking inside of him, oh no.
Kane will lean forward, get very close to Gardner's face, reach his hand out, put his hand on his shoulder.
Almost winches back. As she does.
Petty officer, second class, Gardner. I hereby anoint you petty officer, first class, Gardner.
A promotion?
You don't have to say anything, Gardner. This is what we do. We help each other out as best friends. Gardner, Kane will look around at the other crew and engineering. You're special. The talent that you exhibit, the go-getter attitude, well, reminds me of myself when I was your age, but 2 or 3 years ago. And, well, I want to be sure to develop that and make sure that as I take you under my wing, you'll lean in. We continue working closely, lean in even further, together for a long time. What do you say, Gardner?
I don't know what to say.
Kane will slap his shoulder. All right. Well, silence is golden. That's what they say. I don't never really felt that way myself, but all right, Gardner. As you move into higher and higher positions, rather than just impart my vast expanse of engineering knowledge, I'm also going to begin to impart my management knowledge. I'm not going to just turn you into a extremely competent engineer. I'm also going to turn you into, well, an officer like myself, destined for the Admiralty, destined for greatness. We'll rise together.
But sir, I've,
All right. Well, Gardner, first order of business. I want you to look around to every other crew in this department and understand that rank is just a suggestion, right? Doesn't really ultimately hold much cachet. That's not what we're looking for in management, right? So I want you to be sure to, well, when you see maybe if anyone else in engineering is doing something the way that you wouldn't do it or doing something wrong, I want you to point that out to them very plainly.
but sir, everyone here is higher ranked than me.
Again, rank is just a suggestion, and orders are just a suggestion. The
Back
first
no, they are
knowledge
not.
I want to impart. The first knowledge that I would like to impart on you. Always stay true to yourself. He'll point at his chest. Stay true to what's in here, Gardner. All right. And then, yeah, he'll turn and walk away.
Someone help me.
All right.
And
Any
Garnick
other?
goes to
Right.
buries himself in the console.
All right. Any other scenes anybody would like? All right. So we'll finally get up to the bridge. Let me make sure everybody's here that's supposed to be. If you are in a different location, let me know. But the ship just drops out of warp. Probably at the start of the search grid that has been laid out by the captain en route. And I'll let you guys take it from there.
Essence Hurl begin search on Grid Alpha 3.
Yes, Captain.
All right. We'll just make this a nice and easy reason or insight with your science. Difficulty 1, assisted by the ship's sense, ores, and science.
Can I use the focus sensor up?
Yep.
Two dice.
Yeah, unless you want to buy more.
No.
All right, then I just need the ship sensor signs, please.
I'll get it.
Damn. Gain 3 out of that.
Captain, it looks like I have identified a binary star system nearby that is collapsed. It looks like it's the reason why there's gravitational distortions, and it's creating unpredictable sensor echoes.
Can it be compensated for, Ensign?
I could try adjusting the sensor resolution.
Make it so, Lieutenant, or Ensign.
Yes, Cap.
Everyone's getting a promotion today. This will be probably a control and either engineering or science difficulty 2.
Again, I'll use focus sensor ops.
Yeah, that's fine. Gain another momentum.
Captain, I was able to cut through most of the interference, and we now should be able to map through the distortions and get clear readings.
Please rescan the area.
Yes, Captain.
Oops, wrong place. Disregard that message.
I was going to say, was that supposed to be a direct message? Oh, Captain. Lieutenant Commander Kane has approached me with the request for a promotion of Petty Officer Gardner. His record would seem to warrant the promotion, but the final decision is in fact yours.
pass all the relevant information to a data pad, and I'll look over it.
Yes, Captain.
Captain, we did continue with the scan, and we picked up a faint but irregular subspace burst. It's too weak to be general comms, but it looks consistent with an encrypted transmission.
Is it coming from that system? Sorry, this is not a side effect of that system.
You don't believe?
I don't believe so.
Maintain your alerts. Helm, set a course for the binary star system.
Aye, Captain. All right. Probably gonna have to have a con roll here, just because you do have to navigate around some gravitational distortions and such. I'm gonna make this a Diff 1 Complication 2 task. Spend a little threat here.
Oh God.
Oh crap! Why does this keep happening?
Why is there a giant green alien in my sick bay?
What did I
Spoilers.
do that made it? Yeah, what did I do that made that flip over? Oh, I double clicked it. Okay. Note to self. All right. Who wants to make that con roll for me, please?
Hey, I got it with Walker. Take a threat. Helm operations for focus.
Yes. Then engines con for the ship, if you would. Anyone grabbing ship?
I can do it.
Engines con complication 2.
Engines con.
Right. Looks like you guys are getting another 3, so it looks like you have 2 float currently.
And can we spin the float that's walking sort of and modify the or engines slightly and to negate the effects of the region, essentially reducing the complication range?
Yes. Yeah, we could go ahead and make that trait. Just trying to think how to flavor this. So we could either flavor it with the sensors or flavor it with.
Well, what's the current complication trait?
Well, it's the
gravimetric
gravitational.
interference?
Yeah, the gravitational distortions from the collapsed binary star. So I guess the question is, are you using sensors to just navigate around it, or are you trying to get them reinforced? Like reinforce the engines?
I would say reinforce the engines because she's a pilot, so
Okay.
that'd be more her instinct.
Yeah, it's like putting lightning rods on a motor.
Hmm.
There you go. Something along those lines. All right. Any free role play you guys would like to do while you are transversing, or should I speed a plot?
I'm good.
I'm good as well.
I'm all set here.
Set.
All right. I'll send this off to somebody else. All right. So we'll speed up plot. I'll say you guys are probably traversing this region for a couple of hours now. When the sensors started to buzz in at the tactical display.
Captain, I'm picking up something on my sensors. It's some kind of ship. I believe it's some kind of freighter. Looks heavily damaged.
Are they sending out a distress signal?
GM? No, sir, I'm not getting any distress signals. I'm attempting to identify it.
Ooh, that could be a roll. Um, we could probably give you a Starship recognition is the con task, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this will probably be reason. Let's go No, let's go reason or insight con. Just a diff 1.
Mm-hmm.
Assisted by the sensors con. That's a roll you don't see often.
You said sensors con, right?
Sensors con.
Yep.
I'll do it.
Okay. Oof.
3 floats. All right, where are my notes?
Hmm.
While he's
Okay.
trying to identify the ship, Mahawk is gonna move up and around and look down, look into the tactical station.
All right, I'll send this to you as well, since you could technically see it.
That's a question.
I will accept the question.
Mm. Captain, I have identified the ship. It's a registered merchant vessel, the SS Uranus. I'm not detecting minimal life support, minimal power. It has suffered several hull breaches and the life support is failing.
Life signs?
Let's make that a
I'll take
question.
that as. Yep, I'll accept that as well. So you have 1 float.
Rating 5 life signs. According to Manifest, it's a crew of 19.
Transporter room? Are you able to get a lock on the 5 life signs on the Ferengi the freighter?
I can take this, GM.
Go for it.
How far away was this ship?
The speed of plot will say it's not that far.
Okay.
You know, like you probably detected it, at long sensor range, but you're probably still heading toward it. Rix, I will accept that question as well.
So yeah, we'll just say May is on transporters right now. Actually,
out of
I thought we
range.
had a transporter tech, actually. Oh well. Yeah, I can't remember who the transporter tech was. Unless it's
Garner.
Gardner, I guess. But yeah, we'll just say I guess May is on transporters. She'll say, Captain, yes, I am able to get transporter lock.
Beam him directly to sickbay. Commander Rix, assemble a security team and have me in sickbay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ready. GM, May will execute the order.
All right. So I believe this is probably going to be a difficulty 2 complication range 2 task. To transport from there to sickbay.
Alrighty. Control engineering.
Yes. Assisted by Sensors Engineering.
Okay.
This is
Transporters.
bridge to medbay. Stand by to receive injuries.
All right, cool. Complication 2. Transporters for a focus.
Yep.
Just
FYI, if you do use the transporter chief, I believe this is second crew activation.
Gotcha. I'm using May. I don't know if she's the transporter chief.
No, Gardner has
It's-
the transporter chief talent.
I thought so. Yeah.
Don't you want to use your prodigy?
I would feel bad rolling for him. He's your character, Rex.
Catalia also has transporters replicators station.
Let's do her. Well, I mean May does too. I'll just use May. I had it.
Yeah, Garner's the only one with the talent for it.
Gotcha. I mean Gardner's out getting drunk, celebrating his promotion right now. So.
Yeah, sure.
He's probably crying in his sonic shower in his room, but
More like it, yeah.
all right, so May has bold engineering, take a threat, and then she'll use 2 momentum, just to make sure we get it. Hopefully get some more momentum back, but yep.
God, can you guys even get close to failing a roll today?
No one say anything. Don't jinx ourselves.
Okay. Transport successful. You do have to float from the transport. So if you wanted to do anything with that before we head to the sick bay, or I should say before we finish up on the bridge before heading to sick bay.
Did the ship roll?
Total of 3 float.
3.
Yep, total of 3 float.
Yeah, I mean, they're already 2 sick bay. Rix is heading down with the security team.
Oh, and don't forget to upgrade May and Walker for the activations if you guys haven't done that already.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, does the float go away if it's not used on the transport?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn it. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't suppose she could detect any surface level injuries as a result of her scans pre-transportation, right?
Weapons.
like weapons injuries, I guess.
Well, they had weapons on them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, she could attempt to transport them without the weapons, but I don't think that would work.
Well, the transporter system would automatically deactivate any weapon, energy-based weapon that they're carrying.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, if there's no indication of any like especially sick or injured or something, I believe given the number, she can transport them all in one go, right? So it's not like a phased transportation. No, I mean, unless you guys can think of anything, I'm inclined to just let the flow go. All right, cool. I guess we'll let it go.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to do on the bridge? Any other information you want to find out about the freighter? Any roll scans, whatever, before we head to the sick bay?
Damage. Mahawk's interested in level of damage and any kind of energy weapon signatures that may be found on the hull.
I have that information.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rick's
Just has
was
to come
asking
out
questions.
yet.
So. Yeah, Rick's was asking questions. So yeah, he received all that information. So feel free to role play, and then you could probably learn that.
Mr. Ricks, any sign of what caused this to the freighter?
Yes, sir. Nausicaans.
Let's get a tractor beam lock on the freighter and tow it to a more safer region of space.
Yes, sir. Activating tractor beam.
Captain, I would also recommend a yellow alert until we are in said safer region of space.
I believe we're still at yellow alert.
Oh, are we?
It's a Starfleet mandate to be at yellow alert still, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Forgot about that.
Right, I believe tractor beam is a roll, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there is a. It's in the conflict thing. I can find that quickly.
Yeah, I gotta find the tactical officer thing.
Navigator. Tactical. Tractor beam. The character engagement. Control security assisted by the ship structure plus security. Difficulty 2.
All right, there it is. That's the roll.
Control security. Let's just do a straight roll. No, I'll buy 1 momentum. Or buy 1 dice, rather. I don't have any focuses. Wow. Okay. And someone rolls structure security on the ship.
Structure security coming up.
Okay. Success with complication.
One second. Did you buy a dice with threat? Oh, momentum.
With
Yeah.
momentum.
Okay, I think I will use the complication here. So what we'll do is the tractoring is successful. However, due to the gravimetric distortions, your max warp speed is limited to warp 5 due to the damage of the freighter.
Captain, we have the ship in tow, although we'll be somewhat limited due to the distress that ship is under.
Understood.
With your permission, I'll go down to sickbay and secure the patients.
Very well.
And Rix
Helm?
leaves sickbay to go down to sickbay. Leaves his station to go down to sickbay.
Helm? What factor size? Take us on the system, please.
Aye, Captain. All right. Anything else on the bridge? Rick's left to head to the. All right, I'll take silence as a no. We'll go ahead and jump to a new scene, since I was technically already supposed to have done that. And Doctor, you receive your transport of the 5 injured freighter crew. And then for the scene, if anyone would like to play their favorite medical personnel to allow the doctor to role play with, feel free to start calling them now, and then I'll give the floor to the doctor.
Okay. Which one is the most visually injured?
All right. For ease of this, go ahead and give me an insight medicine difficulty 1, to just visually triage everybody really quick.
Okay. I have emergency medicine as a focus.
Yes, this would apply. All right, you got there. All right. The Orion sitting on the main bed currently. Let me pull up my sheet. Visually, you can see he has severe plasma burns to his right arm and torso. The human female appears dizzy and dazed. The Bolian appears to be holding his ribs. The Bajoran has a metal fragment lodged in the side, kind of near in his upper rib cage, kind of near where the Bajoran lungs would be. And the Andorian is dizzy and appears to be throwing up.
Okay, I will assign Kjal to the one with the piece of metal stuck in them. As she has both emergency medicine and the surgery focus. Oh, the Bajoran looks like Cal Kestis. All right, and I'm going to start with the Orion male right in front of me. And let Tivas do her triage work on the others. By the way, can you send me that list really quick
Ooh,
of what their injuries were? Their
okay, hold on.
visual injuries.
Yeah, because there's more, so I had to I had to read from my examples here.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's the Orion. All right, first one's the Orion. The second one is
believe
the
you said that was
human, the
female. Yeah.
female human. The Bolian. All you can tell visually is that he's holding his ribs. And then in spelling's bad, but that's pretty much everybody here.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start with a scan of the Orion since he's right in front of me.
All right. Go ahead and give me reason medicine difficulty 1. And this will be assisted by the computer's medicine. Sensors medicine.
Okay. I would like to buy 1 die with momentum so that I can trigger cautious if need be. And actually, I'm going to use Devos as my nurse. So whoever usually plays her, you get to roll assistance.
I can play her. 1 second.
That someone could grab the ship's sensor science. Didn't realize Divas had triage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely useful in this case.
Right, just need the ship. Someone wants to grab that. Sensors medicine. Right, so that's weird. Let's see. I'll take the 5 and I'll take the 1, so we'll get 3 successes out of that. That's 6, 7, 8 successes total. What did I say? This was diff 1.
Diff 1.
So you got 7 coming.
And we'll have more than that, actually. Chief Medical Officer says when you attempt a task using your medicine rating and you have assistance, you generate 1 bonus momentum, which may not be saved. And as a frill, I have patient. When you succeed at a task where you purchase 1 or more d20s by spending momentum, you generate 1 bonus momentum for each purpose. Bonus momentum may not be saved. So I get 2 additional that are always float.
Okay, so you have 6. 4 from the roll, 1 for chief medical, 1 for your patient.
Mm-hmm.
You're a momentum building machine here.
I do that.
Okay. So now I could give you the full information on the Orion.
Okay.
I don't know why that other thing got mixed in. All right, and then with the float, if you wanted to, since she has triage and you have so much of it, I could just say that the Voss is triaging everybody, and I could just give you the injuries for everybody for the float in exchange for the float.
I would like to use 2 of the float to create a trait on the Orion, and then how about, and then I can give you the rest of it.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. I would like to create the trait of physiological familiarity. Since Orions are a known species, and I have an Orion as a nurse, I'm relatively familiar with their internal gubbins and how to treat them.
Sure.
So reducing any and all treatment rolls by a difficulty of 1. How about that?
Okay, yeah. On the Orion, I'm okay with that.
Okay. And then I'll give you the rest of the float for the rest of the information.
We're getting there. It would seem, yeah.
Inertial dampeners were not on full.
Yeah.
Probably thrown offline. Probably more to happen. Okay, so here's how I'm going to set this up for you, Doctor.
All right.
You can role play after I get this set up. These are the injuries. I will let you determine, order and all that stuff based on this information. However, the from here on out, this is going to be an extended task with timed intervals.
Okay.
So the extended task will be at difficulty 3, magnitude 5, because there's 5 patients. Work will be 20. I take that back. There is no magnitude anymore. I keep forgetting. Because it's just it ends at when the work is done.
Mhm.
All right, so it's an extended task of difficulty 3. The work is 22. Resistance is 1, and you will have 8 intervals in order to. Well, I can't tell you what happens at the end of that 8 intervals, but based on the injuries and the severity and other things, you figure that you have a limited time in order to ensure long-term damage from everybody, or possibly worse. So we'll throw that at 8.
Okay. So I'm going to start out, Mr. Giggle, and I'm going to direct him over to the Bjorn, explain the metal shrapnel in his side and the collapsed lung. Advise him on what he needs to do. I'm going to set him to that task.
Are you sure you don't want me to just cut him
No.
off a little bit?
No. Everything stays where it's supposed to be unless I say it has to be removed.
All right, you're the boss. I'm just saying.
I am in this situation. All right. Dr. Kjall, if you would please see to the Andorian, there's high radiation damage due to and possibly radiation poisoning. I'm going to give the Bolian a sedative, a mild sedative, and an analgesic to deal with the pain for the moment. I am going to. Let's see. I am going to work to stabilize the Andorian first, and then I'm going to set my priority over onto the Andorian to deal with the internal bleeding.
All right, so I guess my question is, what is the order?
The order that I'm
that you'd
treating
like
them in.
Yes.
Let's see. I'll say the Orion, the Bolian, the Bjorn, the Andorian, and then the human.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of moving parts with this.
I kind of figured.
Okay. All right. I'm set up. So yeah, so after you expended the crew interval the crew support for Divos for the assist, so you guys can give Divos something, since this is second activation. You have 1 crew support left. Thank you, Captain, for reminding me. And then don't forget that you guys could upgrade Walker, and you said you activated May earlier?
We did.
Okay, yeah, you guys could upgrade those 2 as well.
Yeah. I gave her a focus.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and I will go ahead and warn that for the flavor of the scene, the security staff is not safe from my management of the area and will be randomly ordered to perform certain small tasks.
Oh, speaking of which, as the doctor is getting everything in place, Rick, you probably walk in on the chaos and the doctor yelling at people, getting them into place. Just so we could have you here as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna put one of them overseeing the 3 biobeds over here, and then I'm gonna put myself and the other security person watching over the Orion, since that seems the bigger threat here, if any.
The one watching over biobeds will be immediately put to use, applying pressure to the metal fragment to staunch any bleeding.
Speaking of which, if the human's the lowest priority, then you'd probably switch the Bajoran onto a bed.
Yeah.
Actually, I could just do order of importance. Good thinking, me. And the human has to lay on the floor.
A human has probably gotten a chair. Right now they're complaining of dizziness, I'm assuming head trauma and some kind of concussion.
And whatever the hell a fractured humerus is.
Oh, that's the upper bone in an arm.
Aha. Yeah, they're not critical. Okay.
No.
All right, Doctor, it is your show. I follow your lead.
Okay, so how do these extended tasks work?
Okay, so you would roll your, I would say, either control or daring medicine at the difficulty 3.
Okay.
The ship will assist you with its computer medicine, and then you get the 1 free assist. You could get more assists, but they do cost a momentum each after the first.
Oh, good news, I generate momentum.
Okay. And then, so upon successful completion, or a successful roll allows you to do work against the work track. The work is whatever your department score is reduced by resistance. So I believe in your case it's 5.
Correct.
And then it'll be reduced by 1.
So I
So
put in 4 every time.
yes, every time you're successful. You can use momentum to do more work. Let me double check that really quick. I believe that's a thing.
Is there going to be a way for me to knock down the resistance at all?
Trait creation.
Trait creation. All right.
One second, let me get to the extended task part to make sure I'm not missing anything. I love how in the index extended tasks are listed on 3 different pages. Very helpful. Which means the one I'm looking at is not the one that has pertinent information for you. God, why can't you just put extended task in one thing? Okay, so doing additional work is like doing work the shields in combat like last week. To add 1, it costs 2 momentum.
Okay. All right. And I believe I was starting out with the Orion.
That's what you.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Plasma burn suffered from stable but deteriorating. Okay. So I'm going to make my first roll.
And this will be daring or control.
I'm going to
medicine.
use control. All right. And I have
Emergency medicine surgery would apply here. Those are fine. Oh, actually, I forgot about the trait you made earlier. Since you're starting with your Orion, this is actually going to be a difficulty 2.
Yep. Okay. So I will start out with the emergency medicine because I don't know what's causing his vitals to destabilize. So we're going to go with that. I'd like to buy a die with momentum for cautious.
All right, computers medicine, Divas can assist.
You said DeVos can assist?
Yes.
Yes.
In reason medicine?
Controller daring.
Controller daring. Okay.
Which in her case would be daring.
Nice.
Gotta love a doctor with daring medicine. Take chances.
For sure.
In this case, the cautious played to my strength. So
Yeah. I mean, would triage apply for focus?
Yes. Yeah, this is a triage situation.
Perfect. No help.
Can my cautious re-roll her roll?
No.
Dang. Okay. And then I need someone to roll the ship too.
Computers medicine?
Yes. Oh, shit.
Well, I don't like that.
Mm.
All right, so the task is technically successful. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 4. I said this was diff 2. Use the dice for a moment. There it is. Okay. So you have 1 float currently before adding others. 1 float right now from the roll.
I should have 2 float, shouldn't I?
So
it
you
was
spent
diff 2.
right. You spent the dice with momentum, and I never took that off.
Oh.
So at the end of the roll, you were at 5 momentum. 1 fills it, 1 float.
Okay.
And
And
then-
then 2 more from my traits.
And you have assistance, which you do. And yep. So you have 3 float total.
Okay.
All right. So right now you are doing 4 work.
And it was 2 momentum to add 1 to that.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything that can be done with the single floating momentum?
You could use another momentum and increase it further.
Okay, I'll do that.
Since it is repeatable.
Yeah. Okay, I will do that. I will use the
So
1 more momentum
we've-
to put in 2 extra work.
So
that
right now
should
you're
be
at
a total
6 work total.
Yeah, 6 going into that one.
Okay. So you start working on the Orion, you're using the thermal regenerators and various plasma burn treatments on the Orion to try to fix his plasma burns and stabilize his condition. You do notice that this will be the complication. He is stable for now. However, you feel that it is very highly likely that these burns, given how deep and severe they are, will more than likely become affected in the future. So you're going to have to treat him for infection later.
Okay.
You're probably going to have to give him a. I'll put it this way: you are going to have to treat him for an infection protocol, and I'll give you the option if you do that now or later.
I will do that later, because right now he is out of danger, and I need to move on to the ones that are still in danger.
Okay. So he is out of danger, and the rest of your staff. And then Kiel was working on the Bolian to
Correct.
give you a nice bit of a head start with his treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So as you finish there, you undivided here, Kiel. And so you did 6 work out of the 22. That puts you at 6. But now that the bullying's out of the way, it will shoot back up to difficulty 3.
Yep. Okay. And so I'm going to run over to the replicator really quick. I'm going to grab a set of nanites because they are wonderful for
really
in-
quick. I did forget this. The intervals.
Mhm.
Normally they would cost 2 intervals per task. So right now you'd be at 6 intervals, but you can spend momentum to half it.
Okay.
So it'd be 1 momentum to, instead of taking 2 intervals, this would take 1 interval, for example.
Oh well, I could have done that on the previous one then. All right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Before we move on to this one,
Yeah.
you
Now I
could
know. Now I know. Okay. See, I did 6
well,
work.
I'm saying, because I didn't mention it, you could use one now to half the first interval on the first task roll
Well,
for the arrival.
all right. Well, then can I say I only did 5 work and used the 1 float to half the interval time?
Well, you have plenty of momentum. Like, you still have 5 momentum, so you could still do the 6 work, and use 1 more to have the interval, and then you'd still have 4 momentum.
Okay. I'll leave it for now, but I'll keep it in mind for the next one.
Okay, so just 6 intervals.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's the whole thing. This is trying to do this in those. Okay. So you move on to the bull. The Bolian from your triage sustained force trauma, likely from being thrown into a console.
Mhm.
The triage has determined that he has 2 cracked ribs and internal bleeding in his lower abdomen.
Okay.
You will need surgery to stop the internal bleeding.
Yep. Okay.
And since I have threat, and this is surgery, I'm going to increase the complication range to 2. So the task will be Diff 3 Comp 2. This could be Control or Daring Medicine. You still get the assist from Devas, and you still get the Ship Assist Computers Medicine.
Okay. I'm going to spend 2 momentum for this roll. And I would like to use my nanobiology focus, because primarily what needs to be done here is internal mending, and nanites are great for that. So I'm buying 1 die with momentum, and the other one I'm applying to my cutting edge medicine talent.
Now, whenever you tap the medicine test with a difficulty of 3 higher, you may spend up to 3 momentum to reduce the difficulty by the number of momentum. Wow. Okay. To a minimum of 1. Then you also increase the complication. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be Diff 2 Comp 3.
All right, so you're just spending it to reduce it by 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that requires another momentum.
Yep, so I've used 2 momentum.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Div 2, Comp 3. That is kind of a cool talent. Not going to lie.
I built the doctor to be a doctor.
I'm a doctor, damn it, not a doctor.
All right, Devos and Ship, please. Oh, and just FYI, like, I'm trying to keep the rolling and the technical side of things in order. Feel free to role play through all of this.
Okay.
If you want me to role play with the patients, just engage me. But I'm just trying to keep the roll set. So I'm not going to be the one engaging you guys in roleplay. You guys do that for yourselves. That's why I threw everybody here, all these doctors and stuff.
Okay. I will
Just
issue
need to.
direction to Kial to move down to attend to to start seeing to the human. Giggle was supposed to be doing prep work on the Bajoran. Or I'm sorry, moving to the Andorian.
And then,
All
since you said you put the security to work,
Yeah.
right, yeah, just need the ship's computer's medicine.
Okay, I will go and fetch the ship. Peter's medicine.
I think you just hear Giggle only said, "Now if you don't move, nothing will come loose, I promise."
Oh, are you kidding me? This ship is useless.
Apparently, very much so.
Actively sabotaging us.
Okay. As you start working on the bullion, right now you're doing 4 work.
Mhm.
You notice that the injury to the bullion with the internal bleeding is a lot more widespread than initially thought. And so all the work that you've done during this roll has just been negated by that finding.
Well, crap.
What did I say? We should have cut it off from the beginning.
There's nothing to cut off.
Oh, an
And don't
artery
forget,
there, an artery here. Doesn't make much difference once you patch it up together in the end.
Okay, so
and then don't forget, you can still half the interval here.
yeah.
The
So I
task
have
was successful.
Yeah, okay, so I got 1 standard momentum from beating the difficulty 2. So I'll drop that one back in the pool.
Oh, also, yeah. So you get 1 momentum from beating, and then you had your 2 floats.
Yeah. I will use the 2 float to add 1 work. Or would that not function in this situation because you're with the complication negating it?
Yeah, with the complication negating it, I called for all work. So
Okay. Then I will use 1 of it to half the interval. And I need 2 to create a trait, don't I?
yeah, you use your
Mm.
float and 1 more.
Yeah, I'll create a trait, fully mapped injuries, because now I've seen the full extent of what's wrong.
Yes, that works for me. I will let you, when you go to make the next roll, I'll let you determine how it is applied.
Okay.
All right, so it's going to go back to the Diff 3 Comp 2.
Yep.
Oh, I spent momentum to make that complication, so I'm going to do that again.
You spent threat, you mean?
Yeah, so I'm going to still keep it there.
Okay. So, 1 more time. Oh, 1 momentum for cautious medicine. And I will call upon my surgery focus this time.
I just need the assist from ship and device. There you go, device.
I'm re-rolling that 18.
All right. Successful fishing expedition. Just need ship.
Someone else can roll ship this time. Both Kane and I have come up at for. Or was it Kane that rolled the first one?
The assist.
Someone needs to roll ship.
Oh yeah.
Oh, somebody got
Oh,
it.
for God's sakes!
Not me. Not me. I'm rolling device.
Oh my
man.
God! Who rolled that?
We're
Are
not
they
mad. We just
fired
want to know
from
who it
rolling?
is. Not mad. We just want to know who it is so we can punish them.
Rix, you're rolling the ship from now on. I've thrown a 20. The
Roll.
captain's thrown a 20. I don't know who rolled the first 20.
Not me.
We'll see.
The problem is, the GM has to figure out what to do with this goblin. I can't conceivably do the same thing twice. Okay, here we go. Go ahead and figure out. So the work will be successful this time. So let's figure that out first, and then I'll reveal the complication.
Okay,
So right now you're doing 4 work due to the standard.
Yeah.
You're 5 minus the 1 resistance. So right now you're at 4.
Okay. So we've got 2 momentum and 2 float.
So 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So I'll go ahead and throw the 2 momentum in there, and then you get 2 float. So yeah. So you have 2 float currently.
Okay.
Or I should say, bonus momentum.
Yes, bonus momentum.
Get the terminology right here, and a complication on the table.
Okay, so the 2 floating are going to go into increasing the amount of work done.
Okay, so that'll put you at 5 work.
I will spend 1 momentum to half the interval again.
And so that will put you at 4 interval. All right. If you got 3 complications, I think that's probably the way I would have went.
Honestly, I'm about to take the ship out of this equation. Okay. What is this patient's condition after the work done?
All right, 1 second. Getting there. Just trying to keep track of the work here currently. This was bullied.
Say again? Yeah, this was
Was
bullied.
bullied. Okay. So it took a little longer, even though you're rushing. This probably still took a little longer than you would have liked, given that you're trying to triage multiple patients. However, the surgery was successful. We were able to stop the eternal bleeding in his, we'll just call it the lower intestine at the moment. and you were able to reset the ribs. So he is out of danger, but recovery will be long and difficult.
Okay. Not
And
dying. Good enough.
And as you
Go
are
ahead.
finishing up the surgery, this will be the complication. As you are finishing up the surgery with the Bolian, the Bajoran, the security officer, obviously not having a lot of medical training, accidentally moves the shard of metal in the Bolian, and blood starts squirting out all over the security officer and along the walls, as it seemed to have possibly nicked an artery in that area. This will increase the difficulty of the Bajoran's work.
Okay. All right, so I'm moving on from the Bolian. Yeah, accidentally. I'm going to have Giggle go ahead and finish up mending the ribs. I'm going to hand him the osteotractor and swap places with him.
Mending, that's something new. Oh,
Yes, everything stays where it's supposed to this time.
I'll give it a shot.
And I should probably roleplay the security officer here. Doctor, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I twitched a little bit, and
It's
this
fine. Just
happened.
let go. I've got it from here. Go ahead, Pat, and stand back by the door.
Okay, so this will be a difficulty of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Complication range will go back to normal now. So it's diff
Okay.
4, comp 1. Never did subtract the overall work. How much work did you do? 5, right?
We should be at a total of 11 work left.
Yeah, that is correct. I'm doing weird math because
I'm tracking it on my side too.
cool. Appreciate it. Yep, nope, everything checks out. Okay, everything maths out. Difficulty 4. I'll leave you to set it up.
Okay. Once again, starting off with 1 momentum, buying a die for cautious. And then 1 more, cutting edge medicine again. Bring it back down to 3 for my roll.
But it does increase the complication, correct?
It does, so I'm at diff 3 comp 2.
Perfect.
And this one's going to start out with a injection of nanites to start mending the interior. That's why I come with cautious. All right. Re-rolling that 20.
And the GM is just sitting here. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Oh, I'd almost wanted to be at 20.
Okay.
It
I need
knows.
Devos and the ship, for crying out loud.
All right,
Boss,
Devos is
I can
pulling
rely
her
on.
weight. Rix, are you getting the ship, or do you want Amy to roll it? Or you want Terrell to roll it?
I mean, I have as much luck as anyone, so. So is this the computer
for it.
medicine as it is?
Yep, it'd be computers, medicine, complication 2. Just 1 dice.
Not bad.
Better than before.
It actually helped this time. Thank you.
Rick's
You're
got the
hired.
All right, so I'm counting 5. So you get 2 momentum banked from that, plus the doctor's 2 float or 2 bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Right now you're doing 4. And then let me know what you're doing with intervals as well.
Okay, so I've got. Let's see, so 4, 2 floating, 2 earned. Okay. So, popping the bonus to add 1 work. And using 1 of the momentum to half the interval again.
Okay, so
Like-
you're doing 5 work. That leaves 6 work remaining.
Mm-hmm. And should be 3 intervals left for me.
Yes. Okay, let me double check everything. Okay, so you got the Andorian human.
Okay, I'm assuming
right.
the shard of metal is out and he's now closed up and stabilized.
Yes. Yeah. Kiel moving down the line is really helping you get like she's expertly getting you ready so that when you get there your task is a lot easier. So although the security officer messed up and nicked the artery, because Kiel had it so well prepared and you and Devos are working like a team in tandem, you're able to get to the Bajoran and very quickly use your laser scalpels and the nanites to repair the damage quickly, easily, and he's well on his way to recovery. You don't foresee any complications with the Bajoran here.
Okay, excellent. So moving down to the Andorian, starting with a
All right.
Hronal
As
injection.
soon as you get up to the Andorian, she leans over the bed and throws up right on your uniform. Covering you in a the
Bile.
puke in the waste and the bile. I am because of that. It's going to be more difficult precision work with your instruments. For the rest of this task, Doctor, I'm going to give you a +1 complication range.
Okay. So everything is comp 2 unless I make it worse. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start with Ronalin injection because this is clearly radiation poisoning. And all right, cellular degeneration. Okay. All right, so 1 momentum for an extra die. And this is still just diff 3, correct?
Yes. Diff 3,
Okay.
comp 2.
All right.
Let me rephrase the comp 2. It's only comp 2 for the Doctor. Everyone else is comp 1.
Got it. There's going to be a brief pause as she vomits of me and just the and then lean her back, wipe her mouth, make sure there's airways clear, make sure she's not going to suddenly swallow any vomit and start choking. All right. I am re-rolling that 16.
Who would have thought DeVos is an expert in radiation therapies?
That coolness under pressure.
Me. That's why I assigned her to be my nurse for all of this thing.
Yeah.
Just need the ship. Look at the doctor with very competent numbers. 12s across the board. Six successes, so you're gaining 3 momentum here. And then the doctor, you get your 2 floats. Bonus.
Okay. The first 2 bonus going into extra work. 2 more for another extra work, and that last momentum to have the interval just in case there's follow up that I need to do.
Sorry, say the last line again.
I'm using the one momentum to have the interval just in case there's more I need to do after this. This should kill the work required, but I'll have 2
Yeah.
intervals left.
I'm not going to take that one because it will be irrelevant.
Okay.
For the intervals after that, so I'm not going to have you waste it.
Well, I mean, there's still a human to work on, so.
We'll get there. Okay, so because you technically did just complete the work track, so I'm going to narrate some stuff here. All right, so you administer the first round of the radiation treatment to the Endorian. She's obviously going to need more rounds of this as her condition gets better, but you do notice instantly that the treatment is working and that her vitals are returning to normal. While that's happening, Kial working on the human patient takes it upon herself to pursue some personal initiative and goes ahead and treats the fractured humerus, resets it, and then treats the symptoms of the concussion with a hypo spray. So that by the time you get over to the human patient, it is very much just a double checking of Kiel's work.
Fantastic.
And with that, the extended task is done, and your patient's doctor are no longer in danger of dying. Or worse injuries. I will leave the floor to you.
All right. Seeing Kial wrapping up on the human, I quietly go around, start giving all of my staff pats on the shoulders. Good work. Excellently done. Excellently done. Congratulations, everyone. And dinner is on me tonight. And I will loop myself back around in this process over to the first patient, the Orion, who is going to need the infection series, and start charting out his treatment plan. But I'll also brush by Lieutenant Commander Rix. Well, they're not in danger anymore, so I believe you should have 5 people to answer your questions to, or ask your questions to, but I'm going to ask that you wait at least an hour. They need their rest.
Very well, Doctor. I'll have a security team standing by here, just in case.
I don't foresee too many problems, but I appreciate it.
You can never be too careful, Doctor, even with sick people. Especially with sick people.
Oh, that's what the restraining fields in the biobed are for, should I need them.
I'll be back once they're ready to be interrogated.
And I will, after I finish charting the Orion's treatment plan, I'm going to kind of go and check in with any of the recovered crew members who are still conscious, trying to get name, what position they held on the ship, if any of them are the captain, so on and so forth. Just a little gentle preliminary work.
Commander Rix to Captain Keir. It would appear that the passengers or the crew of the merchant ship have now been stabilized by the doctor. They're still recovering. I request permission to beam aboard the merchant ship with a security and engineering crew to secure and data mine the ship for information while we wait to interrogate the crew.
I'll get back to you on that, Commander. You're currently en route of exiting the binary star system.
Understood, Captain. Standing by.
Captain, this is Valen. All the survivors, as Mr. Rick said, are going to survive. Some of them are going to need an extended treatment plan, so they'll be with us for a little while.
Understood.
Glance over at Rick's for a second, kind of quizzically, and if he gives me no indication, I'll just say sick bay out.
All right, very good. In the meantime, I think we'll enter Noose. We'll head to the. Rix, where were you heading?
I think I'm still standing by in sick bay. I'm waiting the orders from the captain and order from my granting from my request or not. So I'm still in sick bay.
If he's planning to go over to the ship, I'm inoculating him against radiation while he's there in sick bay.
All right, Captain, what are you doing, both during the surgery and then immediately after?
While we were towing the ship out of the binary star system, but they have a more in-depth scan on the ship once we're clear. To figure out what the extent of the damage is, so that way you can get appropriate clues to at least try to save the ship, as well as conduct a more thorough investigation on who attacked him and what happened.
Okay, so you want that to happen once you're clear of the system, correct?
At least
Or
out
clear
of
of
the
the
distortions.
radiation.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will officially enter the new scene. We will head to the bridge. Probably, I'd say about 30 minutes into your journey, the ship enters a more heavily distorted area of the region. It really starts to play havoc on your sensors, to the point where it's almost as if you are sensor blind. So I'll let you guys role play that a little bit.
Science, see if you can clean up those sensor readings.
Yes,
Stay as
Captain.
she goes. Stay as she goes, Helm.
Right. This is going to be a control engineering or science difficulty 2, complication 2. You do have cautious, so to do to use your cautious science, you'd buy an extra dice with momentum. So you'd roll 3 dice, and then if one fails or gets a complication or something, you could re-roll 1 dice.
Okay, I'll do that. You said complication 2?
Yeah. Right. You gain 2 momentum out of that. All right. I'll just narrate for this for everybody because this is more narratively cool. As the sensors start filtering through the distortion caused by the gravitational distortion, your sensors, and this is on everybody's panel, detects another mercenary frigate, basically using the distortions as cover, and has moved within attack range of your ship. Weapons and shields fully armed.
Red alert.
It's a merchant vessel?
Mercenary vessel.
Mr. Ricks to the bridge, please.
On my way.
Release tractor beam.
Tractor beam has been released. And just for funsies, and because I can and narratively it's cool, I'm going to spend some threats to have them go first.
Real quick question before we start combat here. It's been 6
Sure.
hours, right? So that breach should be cleared.
Yes. Yes. You have no breaches. Correct. Yeah, it's actually been a week. So no breaches.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yep. It's been about a week. Sorry, I got to remember how to use the dice roller. Complication.
Do we get momentum if you throw a complication?
No. Do I have cool sound effects for disruptors? I have no idea how to get those to work. I forgot. So it fires its disruptor banks at you, hitting your ship. Now I got to remember how all this damage stuff works. I just want to make sure it's correct.
It's severity of the weapon minus the resistance.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to determine the severity of.
It should be on the sheet.
Yeah, I upgraded the sheet, but I'm not sure if I upgraded weapons. Is it scale and
The
weapons score?
It should update automatically when you change stats on the ship sheet.
Okay. So you have 6 coming at you. 6 damage.
So we take 2 to shields.
Now I gotta see what intense does.
Reduces the momentum cost by 1.
Of doing
Where
more
you
damage.
sleep when you're camping.
Yes.
Okay. So since I gained some threat, I'm going to spend 2 more threat to do 2 damage to you. So I guess you'll be at 4 damage. And the complication will be that I cannot use threat to go again, and it just lit them up like a Christmas tree in their direction. So it'll pass you just as Rix, you get to your station on the bridge.
Besides, get a scan on that ship. Look for any weaknesses.
Yeah, so this is going to be a scan for weakness task. I got to find where this is in my sheet now because I didn't take the time to write them on a piece of paper.
Does crew support open back up whenever the scene changes and you stop using a particular character? Or is it
No,
just for the session?
It's technically per the adventure.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if this was a multi-part episode, for example.
Oh, okay.
God, where is it? I got 2 freaking books open, PDFs, and I can't find what I'm looking for.
What are you looking for?
Let's ask for a scan for weakness.
Oh, do you still have the quick cards?
Yeah, I
Page 3 of
didn't. Just there it is. So this is going to be Control Science Difficulty 2, assisted by the ship's sensor security.
I'm going to use focus, sensor ops.
Yep.
And control science, right?
Yes. Then remember you have cautious signs too, so you could get an extra dice.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and roll.
You probably want to, since you got the cautious signs, you want to reroll the complication. Should just hit the before and pass again and roll 1 dice. And then using focus.
Is our phaser and photon torpedo damage correct?
Say that again.
Is our phasers and photon torpedo damage correct in the cheat?
Yes.
Because it does say phaser rays should be damage equal to ship scale. Our scale is 4 and the damage rating is at 6.
Yeah,
should
it's
be scales plus security though, shouldn't it?
No.
So that's first edition rules. Because damage works a little different. It's scale plus a ratio based on what you're.
I'm reading from the
nerdy
second edition rulebook though.
What page?
227, 228.
Okay, it's based off the scale plus the weapons rating. The weapons rating is the system's total systems, and there's a
Oh, there
table.
it is.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
table's
but
on. The table's on 226, so it's scale plus the rating.
Oh, okay. I see.
So for example, if your weapons are a 10,
Yeah, I get it.
It's a plus
I
2.
get it. I get it. Thank you. Just needed to figure that out.
Yeah, and actually, I don't think this ship is right. Yeah, it says it is. That's weird. So weird.
Right. Should really say that in the table, in the damage
that's
table.
good. Okay.
It's very. When you're looking over.
9 to 10 is plus 2. We have 9 on our weapons rating, so we have 2.
Yeah, but what confuses me is it just says damage ship scale in the table, and it really should say ship scale plus weapon rating or something like that to make it clear. Because when you're just looking at it like that, it's misunderstand it.
It's the failing of how this book is laid out. Like, they run into that same problem of it's in 9 different places and it's not that clear unless you do a very close look.
Yeah.
At any rate, the scan for weakness has been successful. There is a complication. You do get a momentum back. And GM is going to take that complication as threat. So your choice on what happens next.
Rex, do you have a quick action?
Did you ask me?
Yes.
I don't think I do.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Mora spent 2 medicine to keep the initiative. Didn't we start at 4? I guess not.
3. Change of scene brought it to 3.
Okay, no. It's fine. Yeah, it's 2 medicine, and then Rex, you're going to go.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I got to narrate some stuff here.
Yes,
Rix, you go to try to lock onto the vessel, and I'm going to send you some stuff here so that you can roleplay.
Ooh, interesting.
Just because there's some things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure. There you go.
Okay. We're within close range right now, correct?
Medium.
Medium, okay. Just notify close. So if I'm reading this right, we need to be at close range for me to get a effective weapons lock. Is that correct?
No.
Yes. Okay.
No.
No, based on the information I've gotten, yes.
Normally you're right here, but there are things going on.
Yes. Captain, having a problem here. They are jamming our sensors. We need to get closer if I'm going to have an effective weapons lock. They're also maneuverable like hell.
Just so mechanically everybody has it.
Okay, well, still my turn, so I will still try to make a shot. But I think this effectively puts me at +2 difficulty? Or is it just the one that you said?
Well, it depends on what you're shooting. As of right now, the only thing that you'd be able to target with are the torpedoes, and I believe they.
Okay, yeah. That's
anyway.
correct because we're not in range even of some phasers. That's correct.
Yeah, so
So
the torpedo roll would be a diff 4.
Yeah, let's shoot a torpedo. Let's do it. Just one torpedo. Not a salvo. That would still be difficulty 4 total. And you get threat. 1 threat. I will give you 1 threat for bold. Let's see, so I'm having the right sheets up here.
Right, fire the torpedoes. It is a difficulty 4 task.
Right now, yeah.
As a thought, should we let someone else go first, like the helm officer, and use something like a attack pattern to try and reduce that?
Tag pattern doesn't do that. Doesn't reduce
Attack
difficulty
pattern
anymore.
does.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Right now, what we need to do is just get closer. That's what we need to do.
The weak
Well, do we want to give it up? Do we want to go get to Con instead, and I can wait a turn?
This is
Captain?
something the GM blessed to either allow us, because that was information that should have been done with the given to the scan of weakness.
Yeah, no, I'll take my shot, and then we can act on the information.
I'm
Do that.
I'm long to saying that information should have been given to us during a scan of weakness. Regardless, scan on it.
No, fair enough. I mean, like you could have somebody else go instead of Rick's. Like it still does the same thing. Like you're probably right. Like you could got that information. So on the scan for weakness, you could learn that, and then you guys can choose who goes from there. You could even decide not to keep initiative too. I will wreck out some
'Cause,
things.
like, yeah, I mean, there's a few other things like I have an issue with that, but it's fine. And then fine, Walker should go and just maneuver us and then put us into an evasive action. Because she has efficient evasion and glancing impact, so it would negate the difficulty increase on the attacks. There shouldn't be a roll until they attack us again, if we do that.
Yep.
So the ship will just maneuver there.
Okay. All right. Does it pass back?
It has to.
Did Con go or not?
Yeah.
did. There's no
Con
roll.
1 evasive.
Okay, good. Just wanted to double check.
Yeah. Yeah. On the evasive action, Con rolls when they're attacked because then it becomes opposed.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if we did it or not.
Yep. I'm just seeing what I want to do here. What they'll do. So they're actually going to move. All right. As your ship gets closer, the raiding vessel, fires up its impulse engines to get range on you, and enters evasive maneuvers itself. And I will pass it back to you.
Okay, I'll go now then. Anyway,
We can't shoot
so
it
they're
now,
at
because we can't shoot it because
they're
we're
at
in
long range.
Yes.
Yeah, but I still have to go anyway. So let's see.
Here's what you could. Well,
Enemy attacks against
can't
your
shoot
ship becomes.
you,
I can do a defensive fire.
you cannot do defensive
Not
fire
while we're
because we're in
evasive.
Oh
evasive.
no, evasive action. I just read the whole thing. Thank you. Like our shields are down a little bit.
It's always trait creation too.
It would be better
resist
if I
enemy
go.
attacks.
It would be better if I go.
Okay, go.
I want to do a create traits. Attack pattern beta 7. What's my role, GM?
What trait? What trait are you trying to create here?
Essentially, a trait to help Rix, so it would lower the difficulty. Giving him some instructions on fiery solutions in this situation.
All right, so Captain, you're looking at your sensors, you're looking at their jamming technology, and you're trying to analyze the situation and how you can break through that jamming tech. No, sorry. Not the jamming. You're trying to find patterns in there because you said you want to make it easier for them to hit, right?
Yes, at least I give you the target solution out of, within, our normal standard range for combat. Take away, I guess,
All right, so there's two traits here that affect what's going on. There's the jamming and there's the speed. So there's actually two negative traits here. I guess the question is, which trait are you trying to negate? If you're trying to negate one of those, of course.
I guess the speed. I mean, it's unclear what these negative traits do.
Well, I think the
It's
jamming trait is reducing our targeting range.
Yeah,
and the ship's speed is giving us the +1
Yes.
to attack rolls difficulties.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes, the jamming is reducing your range, and the speed is making it difficult to hit.
Okay. Well, the speed then, because that makes more sense. And then we have to be an engineer that counters the jamming.
Okay.
Or a science officer.
Yeah, there's options for that. I mean, really anybody could. So you're trying to find patterns in their movement to try to predict where they're going to be next to make it easier for Ricks to have targeting solutions. So I'm thinking this is going to be a reason or insight, probably with security, but I'm always open to be sold on other traits.
I'm sorry, I had to repeat that. I have a thunderstorm going on in my area, so I don't know if I could
Okay,
lose
I'll
power.
type it out.
Like when you were speaking, thunder crashed and it was really loud. So I do apologize.
Okay.
That's what any GM wants their player to say.
Yeah, no, this needs to come down here. So this will be, I'm thinking this is a reason or insight with security difficulty 2, but I can be sold on other traits and disciplines.
Would you accept commands for the department on the guys? Because like this is more of a tactical command type decision to have counter situations like this.
I will accept.
Take 3 threat. Strategy tactics for focus.
Yes. I do love threat.
Just roleplay wise, what are you telling me to effectivize that trait? I'm just curious.
It's more as it's more like for simulations that we've like sort of done. Like, hey, this is something we might encounter. And roleplay wise, It's just called a callback to your training when I say, like, type pattern beta, 3 type deal. Like, oh, we've trained for this. This is the situation we've encountered, we've trained for and encountered, and we're prepared for it.
Okay.
Looks like you gain a momentum unless you have a reroll.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll the 16.
No help. 1 momentum gained.
I want to keep the momentum, so it turn passes through them.
As you said, you wanted to keep.
No, I want to keep the momentum, so the turn passes to
Oh, okay.
them.
Okay. Gotcha. Sometimes the music gets louder than I anticipate. It's weird. I only have it at like 20%. Okay. So they, on their turn, are going to send a text-based message to your vessel.
Captain, they want to fight in Sorg.
I will post this in. And I should put this on. Put this in Discord and on the Foundry so that the stream can see it. And that is their turn.
Hakim, if you want to try and find a way past their jamming, to how we can start getting proper target locks on the ship.
Yeah, I mean, if the GM will let me do that.
If you could narrate how you would try to do that, then I will be glad to give you a roll.
So, 2 ways that I could think to do it. I mean, the first and probably most direct way is to probably boost power to the sensors first and foremost. Literally, since the jamming doesn't seem to be perfect, it just seems to be limiting. If we could, clean up the signal and then just try to push through the jamming to try to overpower it, essentially. So maybe that would be the first way I would try.
I like it.
Okay.
So since I have some lovely threats, and I don't really want you to succeed at this, I'm going to make this a Diff 3 Comp 2. This is probably going to be a control engineering.
All right. Diff 3 Comp 2. Would you accept determination against mission directive? Not dying in combat?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I really have a value that would apply to this. I wouldn't really consider this cheating in any way. I mean,
Oddly,
through jamming. I don't know. If I was hacking it, I guess I could maybe make an argument, but you know what? In the spirit of brute forcing through their jamming, I'm just gonna try to brute force through this one.
okay.
Take a threat for bold. Do I have anything that can apply here? I don't think so. And yeah, take a combo threat and momentum for 4 dice.
Would you give me threat to momentum?
2 threats and 1 momentum. I'll take it.
Dear God. So you gain 2 off of the back of that.
Okay.
And
yeah.
So you go to work trying to clean up the sensor signal that cut through their jamming. It's a rather difficult task because not only are you cutting through the interference from the region, but their active sensor jamming that is emanating from their ship. But through a lot of brute forcing and hitting the buttons and yelling at your team, you're able to finally break through the interference, and you're able to get target lock on the ship at normal ranges now.
Just because. Will you let me pump 1 momentum into boosting our own target lock on them?
I'm okay with it. I just gotta double check if it costs 1 or if it's 2 to do that.
Gotcha.
Maybe 2. Sort of use it as a beacon to help targeting solutions.
Yeah, if you wanted to spend 2 momentum, I could allow that.
Rix, do you think you'll need it?
Yes, some at least.
All right.
1 or 2 I'd like to have. So.
All right. Yeah, let's do it while we have the opportunity.
All right, so we'll increase the potency of that trait. And yeah, so not only do you have a clear target lock, it makes it even easier to target them, reducing the difficulty to hit now. Passes to them, I take.
Yes, we have no way to keep.
Okay. They send the sensors in your direction, and they try to send their sensors multiple times, unsure of what they're looking at. You guys can go to your dud.
I believe it's just Rix.
Yeah, so let's fire back. What range are we at them now? Medium?
You are actually
can't-
in.
I can't
You're
decide
actually
with this map.
in.
They're long.
Yeah. Just a quick thing here. Inside the hex with you is close.
Mhm.
The hex is one away from your current hex is medium.
Okay.
And then they're 2 hexes away, so they would be in long.
Okay. Well, why don't we fire some torpedoes anyway then? Sounds like fun.
Alright, so base torpedo difficulty is 3.
Let me see. I just need to figure out what's the big difference between one torpedo and a salvo. Salvo just area.
Well, salvo is a lot of torpedoes.
Yeah, but if it has some other trait, where do I find that information?
Yeah, I clicked on it and it doesn't tell me much. Is it just damage? Might just be more damage.
I mean, more damage and spread out in an area, I would assume, but
It grants area or spend quality. So you're gonna do probably the spread. So it's just one shit. And what spread does reduces the cost for devastating attack momentum spend by 1.
why can't I find it?
227.
Oh, well, salvo
There,
is
thank you.
229 for torpedoes.
Yeah, I just needed the thing. Types of torpedo. Torpedoes with firing a salvo torpedo adds 3 threat instead of 1, but also adds 1 to the attack's damage rating. Firing a salvo also grants the area or spread quality. Yeah. No, I'm just gonna fire 1 torpedo then. So that would be. We're still at +1 diff, right?
No. So firing torpedoes is normal difficulty 3.
Yeah.
Then with Kane's trait, it reduces it to 2. So it's a diff 2.
But didn't we have
So
+2 diff from the things?
So that the captains. So how this works is it's base difficulty 3. It's +1 for their trait. The captain's trait negates that, brings it back down to 3. Then Rix's trait brings it down to 2 for the torpedoes.
Okay, there's 2. Okay.
Yeah, there's 1 negative, 2 positives for you here.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to keep that straight.
Let's find that page again. Control security. Wrong sheet. Let's see, what do I have? That's for later. I'll add 1 threat for bold. And yeah, that's fine. Let's go for that. Good. That hits. Let me.
Ship's weapon security.
So the ship.
And then yes, Kier, this attack is possible because of a trait that you created, and it would make the other thing apply.
Supply action.
Was that a roll for yourself here, or was that the ship?
That's
was for me,
Kier's.
so I give it. Yeah.
Okay. Just needed to. And the ship rolls. Yeah. Get momentum. Good. And let's see if the sound effect works. No, it doesn't. Shit. There we go. Thank you.
We should
Rix,
get
did you
another
want to
momentum.
fish?
Okay, you said two things at the same time. I don't know what you said. Either you said.
All right, so you guys currently gain 2 momentum. Rix, do you have bold?
I do have bold.
You could re-roll the 17 if you wish.
I mean, I guess. Why not? Yeah, no change. Oh, no, we did get one more. Yeah, you did. Cool.
All right, so you have 4 momentum, and then I believe you get some bonuses from the captain.
You get 2 bonus momentum
2.
to spend.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 5 damage, basic.
Yes.
We want to add. Oh shit! I forgot the targeting solution. Oh shit! Oh. So do we roll where to hit? Is it you who do that, or do I do that?
That's if you get a. Well, I guess you could, but it's not a breach, so.
Oh yeah, if it inflicts damage. Let's add some damage to this then. For every 2 momentum spent. I'll add 1 extra damage with 2 momentum.
You do have 2 bonus, so you don't actually have to spend momentum if you don't
Then
want
let's do 2 extra damage for 4 momentum. The 3 we have, and the 2 I just spent.
All right, so it's 7 total.
Yep.
Right. Rix, after your torpedo salvo, you figure their shields are roughly 55%.
Okay. Successful hit, Captain. Ready to move to phases if we can get closer into range. That's my turn.
Oh crap! I forgot they went evasive. Too late. Next time I won't forget.
Sure you won't.
You guys probably hit anyway.
Have all of us gone now?
I believe. Yeah. All right. So we enter round 2. It starts with them. They are going to make an attack run on your vessel. Okay, and then I'm going to keep an. And they are going to fire some disruptor banks at you. Or sorry, disruptor cannon.
And we are
At
evasive, though, so.
Yes. So I believe you guys will set the difficulty for this roll.
It's Daring Con on our part, assisted by Ship Structure Con, according to this.
Yes. Yep,
All
Daring Con, Structure Con.
If I could buy a die with threat for Bold Con,
I do enjoy threat.
and Miss Walker here has the precise maneuvering focus.
Can you link it to chat so I can read it? Oh, focus. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
That or Helm Ops. Either way, it's a focus.
got both. All right.
Jesus. Just need ship.
Ship Structure Con.
So diff 5, you say?
Mm-hmm.
They make the attack run and they start shooting, but the evasive maneuvering keeps them missing as she swerves, bobs, weaves, causing them all kinds of havoc trying to target your ship. And then you guys, since it's successful, can move one zone.
Do we want to move one zone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move them over one.
All right.
believe he
I
could-
did 2 turns, so your turn.
But if you keep the momentum, tell me. From that rule.
Oh, yes. So they got 3 successes. You had 5. You get 2. Thanks.
We should set off
And
another
our
scan for
resistance
weakness.
is up by 2.
And so scan for weakness will be the control science. Diff 2 assist by sensors. Sensors security, was it?
Gonna use a focus sensor ops.
Mm-hmm.
If I use a focus, I can't use talent, right?
No, you can. Focus and talents are separate. And it's anything that applies for your talents. So if you have like all 4 talents apply to a roll, they all activate.
Um,
But I think you just have. Oh, I keep forgetting you have
Yeah.
untapped.
Either untapped potential or caution.
Well, untapped applies pretty much all the time. Cautious science applies when you buy dice and roll.
Okay.
So you probably want cautious anyway, just for the reroll.
Use a complication 1, right?
Yes.
Can I use a... Can I roll 3 dice?
Yep.
She is untapped, and then also her species ability. So
Yeah.
since
I
she
just
fought,
noticed that's not on there.
yeah, so she used to gain 1 bonus momentum from her species ability, plus she needs to roll for untapped.
Okay, hold on. All right. Patient, when you succeed at a test where you purchase 1 or more d20s, you generate 1 bonus for each bolt. Okay. So you get 1 bonus for that, and then
Okay, I see.
and so I need you to just roll a d20. There's a dice roller on the side here that looks like a d20. Just hover over that and then select 1 d20. Yeah, just click on d20. Whenever you succeed at the test, what you bought, 1 additional dice. If you roll +2, then the chosen attribute gain 1 bonus momentum. Roll higher, add 1 threat instead. All right, so you guys, so I get the threat because you rolled a 19. We'll probably say that's just a presence for the untapped, since that's her highest attribute. So you get 1 bonus from the patient.
Yeah, she scored 9 haste successes. So
Gee. So what is that? 4 float currently? Three float with the 1 bonus. So
yeah, 4 float. I would say like credit trait to where like every time like she does a scan for weakness, like she done it as a prime targeting spot. All right, I mean for this roll that gets +2 damage on the next attack.
how about this? I'll make the trait to do 1 extra damage, but then you could bump it up to get the 2. So it'd be like a crit, like we'll call it like critical weakness +1 damage, but then you could do critical damage 2 to do 2 damage.
Okay, well we should probably use the other 2 vote to keep the initiative. And
Okay,
Hamburg
so
still.
it'd just be critical damage.
My turn.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some shooting. This time, phasers. Complete phaser barrage. Incoming. Why did all my things shut
Don't forget your firing solution.
Good call. Do I want to do calibrated weapons or targeting? We might get through the shields this time. So let's do targeting solution. And I want to target their engines. Oh, well, I don't get to make that choice now. So targeting solution as minor action, and then we're gonna shoot phasers. Control security. So are we still at 2 positive, 1 negative trait?
You could also do calibrate weapons. It increases
Yeah, I know,
damage
but I
by
think
1.
I know, but I already have a bunch of increased damage, and I feel like we might be able to get through the shields this time. So therefore, I'm picking targeting
Well,
solutions.
Well, the goal is to get to drop their shields.
Yeah, but I have fire at will, which gets me to do an extra attack, which is why I think we'll be able to get through the shields even without the calibrate weapons. So where were we at with the traits? So I know which difficulty it is. Total.
Right now it's a diff 1.
Diff 1. Cool. I'll give you a bold, or a threat for bold, rather.
Then you chose targeting solution?
Yeah, targeting solution as a minor action.
All right. Are you using that to re-roll or to choose what system?
It's to pick a system.
I guess you don't have to choose that until after you roll.
Yeah, I don't think I have to choose that now. I get to choose that once the attack is successful.
Diff 1.
Let's go.
Actually, sorry. This is a diff 0. Diff 0.
Oh my. Okay, so that's free float.
Let me double check that.
Okay,
But
cool.
they did attack run, so I just want to make sure there's no minimum.
There's no.
Oh yeah.
Because, okay, yeah, this is diff 0 because it just reduces their difficulty by 1.
Okay, so we have 3 float. And the ship shoots as well. No, not sensors. That's the wrong attribute.
All right. Captain rolled the complication.
Let's see, 12. No. Okay, so that's not a success from the ship. I rolled the wrong thing. It's an 11, not a 12.
All right, so right now you have 4 successes, so you're sitting at 4 float. There is a complication.
No, just 3 float. The ship. I chose the wrong thing there. So skip the ship.
Okay.
Success.
So just
3 float. Can I have a? Can I do the phaser? No, I can't. Can someone do a phaser shot, please? Thank you. That's the hand phaser. So we're at
right now,
base 6.
Yep, +1 for the scan for weakness trait.
Right. So 7.
So right now you're at 7.
We'll definitely add 1 more with the float. Actually, let's add 2 more for the float. So we have 7, 8, 9 damage total.
You have also the 4 bonus momentum 2 from me, 2 from the ship, because the ship has versatile 2.
Oh. Okay, wait. So how much? How much bonus momentum is that total then? 4 from you and the ship.
Okay. All right. So hold on, really quick. So right now you guys are at 7.
Yeah.
So their shields drop down to, I will just say for mechanics wise, to 1. They did take a breach. They are going to take a breach because you went through Shaken and the other thing. So they're going to take a breach. So I'm guessing you could choose, since you're targeting solution and you don't need to reroll, you could probably choose what systems you hit.
I'm choosing engines.
Okay.
If you drop the shields, that would be a second breach, right?
Correct. So yeah, so just at the 7, before you added anything, their shields are at 1. So you guys can start adding and figuring out from there.
Wait, say that again. Was listening.
Okay, so before I let you guys spend any momentums, they're at 1 shield, and they took a breach to engines.
Okay.
So now you guys can use your 3 float and your bonus, whatever.
4 bonus. So we have 7 bonus.
Yeah.
Momentum, basically. They're at 1 shield, so we can just add 1 damage to bring down the shields again.
You dropped their shields. The 1.
Okay.
No.
Oh yeah.
GM.
Wrong ship.
Yeah. Wrong.
So adding damage do anything, really? Don't I have to make a separate hit?
Okay, sorry, I lied. They were at 9, so they're actually at 2 shields. Sorry. They're at 2 shields.
There are 2 shields right now. After or before we've hit them?
Hold on. So the
That's
first
what
damage.
I'm confused about.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay, so after the 7 damage, they're at 2 shields. They still take the breach, but right now they're at 2 shields.
Okay.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong sheet. For
So
whatever
now
reason,
we
I had
add.
to grab this up.
Now we add 2 damage using 4 of our 7 bonus momentum to drop their shields. And they suffer another breach.
Yes, 2 engines.
Yes.
Okay.
Now what I could do is do Fire at Will to do a swift action at reduced cost to shoot at them again, which will cause another breach, correct? If I hit.
Yeah. But I don't think Fire at Will allows you to use the what's it?
No, not the remaining bonus now.
The minor, I was saying.
Probably not, no. It's a separate action, and I would have to spend the momentum to do another minor action. Because just adding damage at this point wouldn't just give them a breach, right?
It would.
No,
That doesn't
no.
make sense.
But if you do Devastate Attack, it would give them another breach.
That's true. That's true. We can do that. So let's do that. So that's 4, 5, 6. That's 6 of our 7 bonus momentum dealt. Or spent.
Okay, so this one you do have to roll an additional system.
Yes.
That system suffers a hit dealing half the attack's damage rounding up.
Which would be 9 total damage, so half of 9.
Yeah, so it's 4.5 rounded up, so it would be 5. So I just need a random system.
Let me grab a d20. 11.
And then I have to look at a billion places. Okay, this is going to be to structure. Okay, got 2 breaches to the engines, 1 breach to the structure.
We should try give him a chance to surrender at this point, though.
I can fire again, though. I have to do that now. What is it it takes to disable a ship?
That's what I'm trying to find right now.
I one more breach when they hit to their scale. I believe they're scale 4, right? Or are they
Yes.
scale
Right.
3?
They're 4. This is a 4.
But you could technically spend the last slow plus momentum to a swift task and fire again.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
gonna
would-
do.
I would spend a momentum to do an extra minor action so you can do a target solution and target like their weapons. So that way we don't inadvertently destroy or cause a warp core breach.
Let's do that. So spend 1 momentum to do another minor action. Spend 1 more momentum, or rather, first 1 momentum to do a swift task, because of my talent fire at will, I only have to spend 1 momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And then a second momentum to do another minor task, which will be targeting solutions. And now I do another attack.
Hold up. I think the momentum pulls off. So, use then 1 momentum to do a swift task, which your fire will kicked in. Is that right?
Yeah, so 2 momentum total I spend. 1 for swift task and 1 for minor action.
Oh, did
that's
Rick
yours.
take it off?
Yeah.
No, I haven't taken anything off at the moment.
I'll put back what I took out.
We should be at 4 right now because we were at 6 before.
Okay.
We
okay.
had a
We should be
float.
at 4.
When I moved it was at 5.
Yeah, but we never spent. We have had 1 float.
Right. Had a 1
which we didn't
float.
spend.
So, yeah, so we should be at
Okay,
5.
so the 5 was right. Okay.
We should be at 4.
Not if you had a float, because you would spend the float and then for the fire at will, then 1 momentum for
Oh, okay.
the other thing.
I
The
thought that was a
other
new
minor.
action, so to speak, but okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna do another just shoot. This would be at diff 1 then, because it's a diff plus 1 diff.
So
Or no?
this should.
Or evasive
should
action has
actually-
gone away.
Do you have any talents that reduce your swift task? Because this should increase by.
No, it should be increased. Yeah, it should increase by 1 because of my swift action.
Yeah, so this will be a diff 1 because it was at diff 0 last time.
Yeah. I will still give you a threat for bold, just in case. Hehe. Yeah, that hits. So that's 2 float. Plus the phasers, which give 2. Which is 4 float. Do you give in anything extra here? Now?
Sorry, what was that?
Kir, do you give any extra float now again?
Yeah, I mean,
I will-
it's still a roll,
yeah,
so yeah.
So 4 from the bonus, 2 from my trait creation, 2 from the ship. It was difficulty 1. You technically generated with my assist plus the ship and yours, total 6 successes. Yeah, do the math.
Okay, we have enough. I just need to know that. So I will.
Then you started at 5, correct?
Yeah.
Momentum prior to this.
Yes.
All right, so I'm counting 4 float for bonus.
Okay, and I'm firing phasers at shields. Targeting the shield system.
It would be a department. I know it's our system.
Oh, it's a department. Okay, yeah, weapons.
Or a system. Sorry, it would be a system.
Yeah, weapon
so,
system.
All right, so you're targeting their weapons now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This would put them at 4. So this one, because it's a new attack, does not get the benefit of the scan for weakness. So this one, it has a resistance of 4, which I believe you already do more damage than that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So they will take the breach to you targeted weapons, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So they have the 2 breaches to engines, 1 breach to their structure, 1 breach to their weapons. They are, for all intents and purposes, critically damaged.
So after pulling some very nifty firing shots, it's basically onto their ship with their phasers. Rix just says very satisfyingly, "Captain, the ship has been disabled."
Turn passes to them, so I think we're still in combat.
Actually, I'll do it this way. All right. Your ship's sensors are picking up, the best that you could tell, another encoded transmission sent directly to this Nausicaan vessel. When the ship receives that encoded transmission, Rix, you notice that the warp drive has just gone critical.
Captain, there's a warp drive over the... Captain, it's going to explode. Let me just say that.
Medicaid, can you hack their ship systems and force an ejection of their whip core?
Of course, Captain. It would be trivial. Will the GM let me get away? I'm kidding. He'll say, "Of course, Captain. I'll see what I can do," and then he'll attempt to forcibly eject the warp core.
All right. Let me give you a difficulty here.
Oh God,
Difficulty 7.
it's the difficulty 58.
This will be a difficulty 5.
All right. What's the roll?
This is probably going to be control engineering. Let me look at your sheet really quick to see if anything applies. Things that you might not know about. I will give you computer systems for a focus.
Okay. Awesome.
But yeah, so you do have a applicable focus. This is a difficulty 5 task. I'll let you figure it out from there.
All right. Cool. Could I use determination against value? Act with confidence, even if you don't feel confident, because he's not confident he can do this.
I'll give it to you.
Okay. Let's do that. Okay. Next step would be take a threats. And then let's do.
So the big question is, how many dice do you want to roll?
Yeah. So I get 2 automatic successes, right? But in 2E, that's not 2 successes plus the dice you roll, right? It's
Correct. Yeah. So
two
so
out
right
of
now
4.
you would be rolling 2 dice technically, but only 1 dice is actually rolled because the other one's an automatic crit.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't give you the extra dice anymore like first edition.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So 1 threat for 3 dice, and then if I go 4, I mean I'm still rolling 2 dice against 3 successes needed, right? Which is probably not going to get me there. Didn't do this before, so I couldn't use testing a theory. So I'm going to roll the maximum I can go. Let's go 5 dice. That would be 4 threat and 2 momentum, or
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
momentum.
Yeah, you
Let's
could do that.
Yeah, let's do 3 threat, 3 momentum, I guess.
All right, so on the dice roller, when you roll, you are going to select 4 dice and then use value. Or use value, or whatever the thing is. Determination value use. You're going to click on that and roll 4 dice. And it'll add in the dice at the end.
Oh, gotcha. So I'll end up rolling 5 then. Okay.
Yeah, but you only need to roll 4 and then it adds the crit.
Gotcha.
So cheat's a little wonky in that regard, but
All right.
I was going to ask if I assist, which I guess he does.
I don't think so. Because I don't think this is something based off of your talents or the trait that you made.
But yeah, I know. I was asking to assist, like, hey, like, giving him confidence, like, you got this.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Give me a presence command. I think would be fine.
Composure to sort of, give him
Yeah.
sort of a calming feeling.
Okay, your 8 beats their 5. You gain 3.
Captain's just doing ASMR in Kane's ear.
All right, Kane, as you are trying to hack into their computer systems to stop the core breach, something is actively working against you trying to do this. You know, like they are trying to override your commands. Luckily, you're just fast enough to beat them to it, and you eject their warp core mere fractions before it actually explodes.
Ooh.
But I do have threat here. However, there is not a lot of time for the warp core to get away, so I'm gonna let you guys roll this. Actually, no, that's not fair. I won't do that. I just noticed how many breaches you guys are at. That is not fair. But the warp core is ejected and it explodes, raining some debris on the freighter, but not enough to cause any serious damage. But it does knock. Here's what my complication threat spin would. It does knock out its power totally.
Hold on, the freighter or the frigate?
Sorry, the frigate. The frigate.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But the power is totally knocked out on the Nausicaan Raider. That'll be the complication I create due to the warp core thing. So instead of blowing it up, because I don't have the breaches to do it, that would be fair to you guys. I'm going to cause a complication that the power is totally out aboard the Nausicaan Raider due to your actions, their actions, and the exploding warp core. And you could roleplay all of that fun stuff.
Were we able to get intercept that transmission?
Captain, are you asking Kane or
Whoever was monitoring comms.
not Kane?
That'd probably be the ensign.
For momentum, I think I will give the answer to this.
Sure.
All right, let me get that information.
Captain, unfortunately, we don't have an exact location, but it was close by within 3 light years.
Get a team together to decrypt that message. If we're able to get a copy of it. Lieutenant Rex prepared to organize boarding parties and notify medical. Commander Mahak, please prepare quarters for guests that are in sickbay. I'm sure the doctor will like them and move to more comfortable accommodations.
Yes, ma'am.
A boarding party will be ready in a moment, sir.
All right. I think because we are at 4 hours now, I am going to call this a to be continued. So we'll call this the end of the episode.